Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudirayet
Tato Jayamudire
Nashtaprayasu Bhadresu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhagavati Uttam Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, titled Conclusion, the Perfection of Renunciation. And today's verse is verse number 53. Ahankaram balam darpam
Ahankaram balam darpam
kamam krodham parigraham
Kamam krodham parigraham
vimuchya nirmamam santo
Vimucha nirmama shanto
brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Ahankara balam darpam
Ahankaram balam darpam
kamam krodham parigraham
Kamam krodham parigraham
vimuchya nirmamam shanto
Vimucha nirmama shanto
brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Anyone would like to lead?
Ahankaram balam darpam
Ahankaram balam darpam
Kamam krodham parigraham
kamam krodham parigraham
Vimucha nirmama shanto
vimuchya nirmamam santo
Brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Thank you very much. Word by word meaning. Ahankaram, false ego.
Ahankaram, false ego.
Balam, false strength.
Balam, false strength.
Darpam, false pride.
Darpam, false pride.
Kamam, lust.
Kamam, lust.
Krodham, anger.
Krodham, anger.
Parigraham,
Parigraham,
and acceptance of material things.
and acceptance of material things.
Vimuchya,
Vimucha,
being delivered from.
being delivered from.
Nirmama,
Nirmamaha,
without a sense of proprietorship.
without a sense of proprietorship.
Shanta,
Shanta,
peaceful.
peaceful.
Brahma bhuyaya,
Brahma bhuyaya,
for self-realization.
self-realization.
Kalpate,
Kalpate,
is qualified.
is qualified.
Translation by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Being purified by his intelligence
Being purified for intelligence
and controlling the mind with determination,
and controlling mind with determination,
giving up the objects of sense gratification,
giving the self-purification,
being freed from attachment and hatred,
being free from attachment and hatred,
one who lives in a secluded place,
one who lives in secluded place,
who eats little,
who eats little,
who controls his body,
who control his body,
mind and power of speech,
mind of power is,
who is always in trance,
who is always in trance,
and who is detached,
and who is detached,
free from false ego,
free from south ego,
false strength,
false strength,
false pride,
false pride,
lust, anger,
lost anger,
and acceptance of material things,
and acceptance of material things,
free from false proprietorship,
free from false proprietorship,
and peaceful.
and peaceful.
Such a person
Such a person
is certainly elevated
is certainly elevated
to the position of self-realization.
to the position of self-realization.
Anyone would like to read this page?
When one is purified by intelligence, he keeps himself in the mode of goodness. Thus, one becomes the controller of the mind and is always in trance. He is not attached to the objects of sense gratification, and he is free from attachment and hatred in his activities. Such a detached person naturally prefers to live in a secluded place. He does not eat more than what he requires, and he controls the activities of his body and mind. He has no false ego because he does not accept the body as himself, nor has he desire to make the body fat and strong by accepting so many material things, because he has no bodily concept of life. He is not falsely proud. He is satisfied with everything that is offered to him by the grace of the Lord, and he is never angry in the absence of self gratification, nor does he endeavor to acquire sense objects. Thus, when he is completely free from false ego, he becomes non attached to all material things, and that is the stage of self realization of Brahman. That stage is called the Brahma Bhuta stage. When one is free from the material conception of life, he becomes peaceful and cannot be agitated. This is described in Bhagavad Gita 2.7. Apuryamanam achala pratishtam samudram apa pravarti yatat tatvat kama yama pravishanti sarva sa shantim apnoti nakama kami.
A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enters like rivers into the ocean, which is being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Let's all chant together. Agyana timirandasya jnana janashalakaya chakshurmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namo. Sri Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Manovistam
Manobishtam
Stapitam yena
Stapitam Ena
bhutale Swayam
Bhutale
Rupa
Swayam
Kadamahyam
Rupa
Dadati Swapadantikam.
Dadati
Vandeham
Swapadantikam
Shri Guru Sri Utpatakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam
Sagrajatam
Sagana
Sagana
Raghunatham Vitam Tam
Rathanvitam
Sajivam
Sajivam
Sadvetam
Advaitam
Savadutam
Savadutam
Parijana
Parijan
Sahitam Krishna
Saitam Krishna
Chaitanya Devam
Chaitanya
Sri Radha
Radha
Krishna
Krishna
Padan
Padan
Sagana
Sagala
Lalita Sri
Lalita Sri
Visakha Vitamscha
Visakancha He
He
Krishna
Krishna Karuna
Karuna
Sindhu
Sindhu
Dinabandhu
Nibandhu
Jagatpate
Jagatpati
Gopesha
Gopesha
Gopika
Gopika
Kanta
Kanta
Radha
Radha
Kanta
Kanta
Namostute
Namastuti
Tapta
Tapta
Kanchana
Kanchan
Gaurangi
Gaurangi
Radhe
Radhe
Vrindavaneshwari
Vrindavaneshwari Shri
Shivanuste
Shivanusuti
Devi
Devi
Pranamami Hari
Pranamami Hari
Priye
Priye Panchakalpa
Vanchakalpataruvyascha
Tarubhyacha
Kripa Sindhu
Kripasindhu
Vaevacha
Bhayavacha
Patitanam
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
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 Namah
Jai Shri
Jai Shri
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu
Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda Sri
Nityananda
Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi
Sadi
Gaura Bhakta
Bhakta
Vrinda
Vrinda
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Rama Rama Hare
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 Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyang Jagannathaye Te Namo. So thank you so much for joining this wonderful Sangha. Every Friday, 8 p.m., we take one verse continuously, one after other, and try to discuss a little bit in a group with like-minded devotees from this masterpiece written by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada ki jai. So here, as you have seen, this verse is actually a triplet which the Prabhupada has taken it together because they are very related. And that's the reason why he has written a purport for the three verses, 5.1, 5.2, 5.3. So that's the reason why I have kind of boldened or rather made the 53rd verse, which we're covering today, where the focus is on removing the toxins from us to gain self-realization. That's essentially what the topic is. But let's try to discuss the flow of Bhagavad Gita as we want to bring it all together. So around 19 to 39, um, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Krishna, is explaining the analysis of actions. 20 to 22, he spoke about the first step in action, which is essentially knowledge. Without knowledge, you can't act. So then, and there, 2021-22, he talked about knowledge in goodness, passion, ignorance. How knowledge is interfered by the modes, mode of goodness, sattvic, mode of passion, rajasic, and mode of ignorance, tamasic. And how does the knowledge transition from different modes? And sometimes you may be having knowledge, but that same knowledge will prompt you to do good things, sattvic things in this example, uh, passionate things, rajasic things in this example, and ignorant things. The same knowledge is there, but when it is impaired or rather mixed with different modes, it behaves differently. And then Krishna in 23, 24, 25, systematically we are going. He spoke about karma and same three verses. Krishna is very methodical. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Bhagavan himself. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, whenever he speaks, we say, we don't say Krishna Vacha, we say Bhagavan Vacha because he is Bhagavan. And there he spoke about karma, goodness, passion, ignorance. Then 26 to 28, he spoke about karta or the doer. We all are doer in some form of other. We're using knowledge, we're doing activities. And then Krishna spoke about intelligence, buddhi, or the understanding for action. You have the knowledge, but the knowledge may not translate to buddhi. So there is a difference between knowledge and intelligence. And Krishna explained it so beautifully. And then Krishna spoke about determination, dhriti, in 33 to 35, 18.33 to 35. Then Krishna spoke about the results of action, which is happiness, 36 to 39. Then in the 40th verse, Krishna paused a little bit, and to Arjuna, he's saying how he is not affected by the modes. We are affected by the different modes of material nature, but he is not. And then he spoke about the Varnashram Dharma, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras in 41. And then he went detail 42, 43, 44 into Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, Shudra in 44. And then in 45, he spoke about qualities of individual work, how perfection can be attained. In 46, he spoke about worshiping the Lord and giving the outcome of your results to him. Here, uh, here he spoke about work and worship. And then 87, he spoke about prescribed duties. 48, he spoke about work born out of material nature, even if it's faulty, to focus on our uh, position of Varnashram Dharma and always follow. If you are a Kshatriya, follow the Kshatriya Dharma to the full, and you do not. That's the reason why Arjuna was confused. He was thinking, as if, if he kills somebody, then there will be a lot of uh, pollution in the family, and he was just not thinking that he is a kshatriya. So he was emphasizing the fact that whatever is your prescribed duty, just follow it. Don't worry about other things. And 49, he spoke about how to purify ourselves by becoming self-controlled and unattached. And then 49, how Krishna talked about elevating ourselves to Brahman platform. Brahman is a process by which, by acquiring intelligence, we become purified. And then in 51, he spoke about purification by intelligence. Actually, this is 50, 49. It's a typo. And then he spoke about purification by intelligence. And in 52, which is the last verse, he spoke about how to purify ourselves by going in a more detailed way. First is intelligence, purification by intelligence. Then he spoke about how to purify ourselves by staying in a secluded place. That's the last verse. How to eat less and purify ourselves, not to have cravings. How we should use our BMW, body, mind, and words, into um, into as a service to Krishna. That is 52. And today he spoke about anarthas, how to purify ourselves by removing toxins. So as you can see, Krishna, if so, that's why Srila Prabhupada says, don't read my books, study my books. When you study, you get this kind of understanding where Krishna is going systematically. And here he talked about removal of toxins. So, what are the toxins Krishna is talking about in this verse? Very powerful verse. He spoke about ahankara, false ego. Then he talks about balam, false strength. Then he spoke about darpam, false pride. Then he speaks about lust. Then he speaks about anger and parigraham, how the cravings to the material things are there. These are the toxins. So he spoke about when you gain intelligence, you naturally leave toxins away. But it's not enough. Then you have to have a place wherein you change your behavior. You live in a secluded place, you eat less, you mind your mind body, you mind your body, mind and words, BMW. We spoke last time. And today, if if that is not enough, then what Krishna is saying we should do? We should get rid of toxins. And what are the toxins? The six anarthas are the toxins which we're going to talk about. So essentially, you got the context of this beautiful verse as to why Krishna is so beautifully explaining that in order to realize who we are not the body, we are the soul. We have to get rid of this false proprietorship. And 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 here, what are the anarthas? The six anarthas is kama, krodha, lobha, mada, moha, mascharya. Lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, and illusion. Unless we detoxify ourselves, we cannot realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we are doing that, actually, we are getting better. Once you remove the toxins from your body, medically speaking, you tend to breathe well. You tend to gain a lot of energy. You tend to uh, not be irritated all the time before you had all these toxins. That's the reason why when you're physically speaking, if you are devoid of toxins, you lead a life of happiness. So Krishna is saying very systematically he's going, and next verse 18.54, he's taking it to a different level about happiness. Brahmabhuta prasannatmana sauchuti nakangsati samasarve subhutesu madbhakti lavate param. He uses the word bhakti again. Krishna uses the bhakti so many times, and bhakta again so many times in Bhagavad Gita. Because Krishna is a person and Krishna loves his devotees and that relationship. So when we are investing our time in Krishna consciousness, we are investing in our attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is not a ordinary person, as he is Bhagavan himself. He has Bhaga, Bhagavan. Possessor of Bhaga is Bhagavan. Possessor of Bala is Balavan. So he is possessing all this. And in this verse, he recognizes that even if we have all the good, if we don't get rid of the toxins, the six toxins, six anarthas, lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, and illusion, we will never be able to realize ourselves. And as the appearance day of Balram is coming, let's discuss a little bit about the pastime of Dhenukasur. Dhenukasur was actually a ass demon. He was a donkey. So he had all these palm trees in Gokul. He used to protect the palm trees. The ass demon, Dhenukasur, used to protect the palm trees. He will not let anybody come in. He won't let anybody come in. So this is a proprietorship, which Srila Prabhupada and Krishna is referring here. in so beautifully. He spoke about Nirmamaha in the third line of this verse. If you have Bhagavad Gita or if you have Google, you can do Vedaves space 18.53. Krishna speaks about Nirmama without a sense of proprietorship. That proprietorship is a thing which Dhenukasura used to have. He used to guard the palm trees and he will not allow anybody to come in. And when he never allowed anybody to come in, and who had to go? Balram had to come in, and he took his rear leg and spun him in such a way that he crashed in the palm tree. And Balram crushed the pride of Dhenukasur. So the sense of all proprietorship, that this person is my wife, I have full proprietorship. This person is my husband, I have full proprietorship on my husband. This person is my kid, I can rule him. This is my country, I can misuse it. The sense of false proprietorship, which Krishna is mentioning in the third line of this verse, is very critical. Dhenukasur was an ass demon. And what he was doing? He was trying to have a sense of proprietorship that this talavan or the palm tree. That's why you go to different places of ISKCON in Florida and in Louisiana. We have New Talavan Dham, which is essentially the palm tree where Lord Balram crushed Dhenukasur's pride by spinning him so that the anarthas could get rid of. And then he fell on the palm trees, and then people realized, hey, what kind of demon he is. And also, let's talk about appearance of Balramji. As you know, Devaki Maharani, 6 kids, which our acharyas mention as anarthas, were killed by Kamsa. And the 7th kid was surrogated with Mother Rohini. Mother Rohini was visiting. Mother Rohini is also another wife of Vasudev. And the surrogacy happened, and from Devki Maharani, the got shifted to Rohini Mata, and Rohini Mata went back to Gokul, and Balram was born. So it is mentioned by our acharyas that before Krishna's appearance, we have to get rid of all anarthas. And that's how the 6 anarthas were got rid of. And then who comes? Lord Balram comes. The first expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And he comes, he clears the path for the arrival of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Because he is Sankarshan. He is none other than Sankarshan. He cleanses through his Karshan. He cleanses. And Dhenukasur pride, the self-proprietorship attitude of Dhenukasur was crushed. We can talk a lot about as Balram's appearance day is coming in 2 weeks' time. I just want to refer to this proprietorship attitude, which we all have. We have to shun that. Otherwise, a time will come like Dhenukasur's mentality was crushed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Balram will come and crush our pride and self-proprietorship. And Ahankar, Balam, Ravana was thinking that he is very powerful. He was crushed by a human being, the Lord himself in the form of a human being. And all these demons, you can take example of, who were full of anarthas. It is not as if they were not knowledgeable. They are very knowledgeable. Ravana knew all the Vedas. He could stand in one leg and meditate forever. It's not a question of meditation which will get you right. It's a question of understanding who we are and what is the relationship with the Supreme. And as long as that basic understanding is there and you have the tendency to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that alone is enough. It's not as if Duryodhan was not knowledgeable. He was very knowledgeable. He was actually, strategically speaking, he was more powerful than Bhima. But the only thing which was different is he didn't surrender to the Supreme and Bhima did. And that was the difference. So we can discuss a lot about the six anarthas, but I would like to hear some of your comments and reflections about this very powerful verse, wherein Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that in 5.1 he spoke about purification by intelligence. Then 52 he spoke about purification by staying in a place, secluded place, eating less, devoting our body, mind, and soul to Krishna, BMW to Krishna, devoting our body, mind, and words to Krishna. And 53, he spoke about removing the toxins. So if systematically we study and we internalize some of these foundational recommendations Krishna is giving to us, we will not only become good devotees, we'll become good human beings, we'll become a good husband, we'll become a good wife, we'll become a good worker, and that will showcase everywhere. So I can go on, but I would like to hear some of your comments, and specifically on this verse, about how to purify ourselves by removal of toxins, which Krishna is mentioning. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments? Any reflections?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanavad Pranam, Guru Srila Prabhupada. The toxicity is due to the conditioning, Prabhuji, which we have been gathering from ages, basically.
Yes, Prabhu. And Krishna is asking us to shun that. You wanted to add more, Prabhu?
No, I was telling that is that conditioning is that removal of toxicity is nothing but deconditioning ourselves through the practice.
Yeah.
Yes, that one point.
Yeah. Yeah. So we all have come from different backgrounds. Our parents were such, we lived in a place. So we were brought up in various different conditions. And because of that, we had picked up all those anarthas. Maybe someone had, very strong, and we have the attitude that we are very strong in terms of balam or in terms of ahankar. Oh, I am a topper, this, that. So it's essentially the conditioning, as Prabhuji is mentioning, over a period of time, and we have taken so many births. So the conditioning is, so it's all about, you have a book, you keep another book, you keep another book, and after some time the book become unstable because of so much of conditioning, and it sometimes collapses. And this toxins are our deterrent for self-realization. Thank you for your comment. Anybody else wants to add anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna Bodhanath Pranam Krishna.
I'm so sorry for the last few days, classes I missed it. Yeah, but thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice class. I want to say like something. So Prabhuji, out of the six anarthas we told, right? So lust is the, I think, like the primary one, Prabhuji. From lust only everything starts. Even Arjun also asked same thing, right? In chapter 3, what is that thing which forces us to do the wrong thing, right? And Krishna told same thing. It is the lust, basically, which cover our actual knowledge. It will put into our darkness, right? So by default, we are actually, that servant of Lord Krishna. We know that we will be okay, but our the knowledge is lost, because the lust actually what it does, it covers our intelligence, and it doesn't allow us to do the right thing, so from lust only, the greed, anger, all the other anarthas come from lust only. So if you can,
And Krishna is saying the same thing to Arjuna in third chapter, right? If you can curb the lust in the beginning, then your actual, you can work on with your actual knowledge, right? So that's what I want to say to you.
Yeah, yeah. So lust is, as Prabhuji mentioned, is the cause, and that leads to another secondary anartha, secondary, and your desire not doesn't get fulfilled, anger doesn't get fulfilled. So as you rightly said, it starts with that anartha of lust. But what happens is anartha is more like a blurriness. We have knowledge, but the conditioning example that Prabhuji mentioned. See, right from the childhood, if right from the mother's womb, like Prahalad, after 3, 4 years, if right from the childhood you are admitted to ISKCON Vedic Sunday School, and then you hear those things, nobody is asking you to leave your school. You go to school, but you hear Krishna Katha. So the conditioning is such that the example is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada and also is spoken by some of the acharyas, is when a elephant is small, they put chains around his leg, and whenever he moves, he cannot move because the chain is there, and this elephant becomes huge, 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 huge. A time comes, the chain him, and he takes away, uproots the tree and moves because he becomes so strong. So the point is, if internally we make ourselves strong by getting the right dose of Krishna consciousness through association books, chanting and diet, ABCD, then a time will come we become so strong that these conditioning and these lust is not going to cover us. And we don't do enough to clear that in our lives. We basically keep on doing whatever we were doing, and lust takes its own kind, because lust, once it gets in, it puts you in pride, and then that is when you realize, when you start talking to some of the material folks, and they have so much of pride of their position, of the money they have, and you could see the difference right in this life, that you have been transformed, and they will take decades to get to where you are. It's essential. This Krishna consciousness is a yardstick to see ourselves in mirror and check how good or how bad you are. And that transformation is achieved by us. That's why Srila Prabhupada says the process is such that in this life you'll realize the difference it brings to you. This other process, for that matter, is okay, but that is at a body level. But when you devote yourself to the Supreme, and who you know who to devote yourself and lead with a loving devotional service, all these things slowly goes away. So lust we have to curb and defend with strength of bhakti, so that like that elephant, we will unshackle ourselves and move on and face Maya, which is covering us day in, day out. Anything else, Prabhuji?
And this lust, right, Prabhuji, it takes three places: mind, intelligence, and one more place. Mm, senses, right? So it reaches at three places, Prabhuji: mind, senses, and intelligence. Okay. So even Arjuna asked the same thing, right, in third chapter, how to, destroy this lust. Okay. So we have to sharpen our intelligence every day, Prabhuji, through the transcendental knowledge. Okay, right? With the association of devotees and reads Gita and everything, right? So once we have the intelligence, proper intelligence, right? Through intelligence only, that's how the chapter 4 comes, right? After chapter 3, chapter 4 comes. So we have to, get the proper intelligence. We have to take the spiritual transcendental knowledge, right? Which will help us to, to remove those lust, which is sitting at our three places, okay? Mind, intelligence, and senses.
Hmm. Yeah, so Prabhu, uh, intelligence is definitely desired. It will take time. That's why Gorang Prabhu mentions, when does a person needs to take initiation? He gives the example of a sage, and he tells to the child that, hey, when the water of the river will come to the level of my knee, at that time I will learn to cross and then I will take initiation. Thinking that we will all be knowledgeable, we all will have time to cleanse ourselves and then think about bhakti and the lust free. That is not going to happen. I think we have to live with lust. So the point I want to make is, if the glass is half full, you have a choice of adding juice or alcohol. But if you don't have the glass full, don't have half glass, you have glass full all the time, then there is nothing to add. So the point is, if we fill ourselves with Krishna Katha, Krishna Seva, festivals, there is no time for us to think about lust. So the natural way, Srila Prabhupada says, is to dovetail our senses to higher taste. If the higher taste is there, the lower taste will ultimately go away. The non-vegetarian and our liking for onion garlic will leave. Will only seek Krishna Prasadam. So that is Srila Prabhupada's medicine to the whole world, is to develop higher taste. Lust will immediately go away. Your body will regulate itself. Your mind will regulate. Your senses and intelligence will regulate everything. But don't wait for the intelligence to sink in and fix everything. Start the loving devotional service at any point in time, and it's going to help us. Is that okay, bro?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you so much.
Prabhuji, it is the transformation basically of our consciousness. It is the path. It is not digital, Prabhuji, that once I become fully cleansed in my intelligence and my lust will be perfect, then I will go to Krishna consciousness, as Prabhuji was mentioning, him Jagannath Prabhu. It is a process. It's a process at which your cleansing starts, Prabhuji. So whatever we may be at 0% and we may start the Krishna consciousness, it will gradually take us to zero through, it's an analog process, Prabhuji, 0 through 100. So similarly, we will never be perfect, Prabhuji, because we are conditioned, as we all know. We all are conditioned. So it is only when we start the process and adhere to the principles, then this transformation begins. Then the lust becomes transformed, Prabhuji, into bhakti. The same lust gets transformed to bhakti. So our endeavor should to be, final endeavor, all our endeavor should be to transform this lust into bhakti, Prabhuji.
Yep.
We cannot say I'll become perfect and then become, as Prabhuji told, we can't take initiation of it. Then we will never become perfect, Prabhuji. And we'll never take initiation. And we'll never take Krishna consciousness seriously. It would be, as Prabhupada always mentioned, it would be an armchair philosophy. Sitting in the armchair, we are reading books and uh, let it be, Prabhuji. Oh, we will not be perfect. Let it be. Let's jump into it and learn. Try to swim and learn swimming, basically.
Very nice. Thank you, Bhakti
Hare Krishna.
Ratnakar Prabhu,
Mhm.
for
Hare
your
Krishna.
reflections. Any other comments, questions? So we have Amita Prabhu who has joined today. Let's welcome him with a loud Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari
Bol,
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Where are you from, Amita Prabhu?
Prabhuji, I'm from Parsippany.
Parsipani. Great. Okay.
So I have also similar questions, Prabhuji. Like whenever we are talking about the toxins and all, so as you said, like no one is perfect. So gradually that transformation and Krishna Chaitanya will come by Prabhuji said, like by practice and the glass of water, what you said, like not half of the water. You should always keep the glass full by chanting, by all the practice towards the Krishna Chaitanya and all, by which we don't have a time to get other stuff. So that point is touchable. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay. Any other comments, Bhakti Prabhu? How are you doing in your new place?
Not bad, Prabhuji. Trying to settle. I had to step out for a couple of days on business, but I'm back, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And also, Prabhuji, same example. One I want to end with. Um, when the rivers merge onto the ocean, Prabhuji, right? The ocean is so full that it doesn't affect the level. The level of the ocean doesn't get affected when rivers merge into it. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that these desires, these all our lust and everything, they are like, as Prabhuji told us, if we immerse into Krishna consciousness, those will not disturb us. Our consciousness is not shaken by those desires, incessant desires. What
Hmm.
that's the words Prabhupada uses in the Bhagavad Gita. So
Perfect.
we should, and we become ocean, we become grave and ocean by all these practices. As Prabhuji told, service Prabhuji, and my personal experience is Prabhuji washing pots. Try to wash pots in the temple, Prabhuji. You'll definitely our kind consciousness starts getting cleansed very fast. Washing
Perfect.
pots, washing restrooms, these basically will really transform our consciousness, Prabhuji. If we try to be in of course, if you have skills and you can be in the management position, Prabhuji, but um, real consciousness transformation only happens when we do service, Prabhuji, wholeheartedly for Krishna.
Definitely.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. This Sunday we have Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. Gaurang Darshan Prabhu is a top scientist. He has many patents, but he has devoted his life by becoming a brahmachari in ISKCON after doing passing out from top schools in India. Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, Gauranga Darshan Das, you can Google. He is also a bestseller in Amazon and so many nice books he has written. He is going to speak this Sunday in temple, so don't miss that class. Very witty, very wonderful uh, devotee. Great to hear from. It'll be great to hear. So please come to the temple if you can. And then next week we'll have um, some another powerful speaker as well. And then next week we have Balram Jayanti weekend. We have Balram Jayanti, so a lot of festivities. And then we have Krishna Janmashtami, the appearance day of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So a lot of programs lined up. So do as much service as possible, as Prabhuji was mentioning, and that really will bring in the humility and bring us close to the Supreme. If there is no other announcements, let's offer prayers at the lotus feet of all Vaishnavas by saying Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Ki
Jai
jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Ki
Jai
jai.
Granth Raj Bhagavad Gita ki
Ki
Jai
jai.
Gaur Premanande
Nande
Hari
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 Hari.
Jai